Hello and welcome. Very exciting video today. We are going to basically screen the whole crypto market live. We are doing so by using a Python script which is connecting to the Binance Websocket server, which is pushing live prices for all coins which are traded on Binance. These are more than 300 individual coins, no pairs, individual coins. We are storing these live prices in an SQL database and finally use Python again to analyze the live data. In specific, we are checking the top performers over the last minutes, seconds, and so on. You will need some prerequisites. Essentially, you need to have basic knowledge about using the Binance WebSocket, how pandas and SQL are interacting, and have an idea about return calculation. I have already covered everything in detail, so please check out the linked videos in the video description. Very important, please watch the video all the way through without skipping a single second, as I'm going over how the results of this script could be leveraged. Important disclaimer, even though we are not actively trading in this video, please be aware that cryptocurrency and in specific automated trading is bearing a huge amount of risk and may result in a total loss of your invested capital. Cryptocurrencies are not regulated. Also, concepts shown in this video are not an investment advice. The video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Before we're getting started, thanks a lot to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Brilliant is an online learning platform with classes focused on STEM. As you see, the special thing is that Brilliant is using interactive exercises to better understand complex topics. Personally, I recommend the Data Science Foundation learning path, containing courses on key topics like probability, statistics, and even an introduction to neural networks. Going through the courses, you will learn the most important fundamentals step by step. And amazingly, these concepts will be taught in an interactive and easily digestible way. So head to brilliant.org/algovibes and sign up for free. First 200 people get 20% off the annual premium subscription. Alright, let's get started. We need some libraries. Websocket to connect to the Binance WebSocket server. JSON to translate a server message to a Python dictionary. Pandas for data handling and SQL Alchemy to connect to SQL. First of all, let's define an engine, and with that we are connecting to our SQL database. I'm using SQLite here, but you can also use your preferred database management system, such as MySQL, Postgres, or whatever you are preferring. So I'm giving the database a name here, coins.db, and with that I've defined the engine which enables us to connect to this database. Next, I'm going to connect to the Binance WebSocket server. Therefore, I need an endpoint, and I'm simply copy pasting from the Binance documentation. So this is the WebSocket endpoint here. And I'm extending the string with the mini ticker string for all symbols. So this !mini ticker at array is providing you price information on all symbols traded on Binance whenever they are changing. So e.g., if you have a changing price, you're getting a new tick, right? So this is the endpoint we are connecting to, and this will provide us real-time price information on all symbols traded on Binance. An alternative, you can also connect to an array of symbols, right? I've covered that in some of my previous videos. I will also link them in the video description if you want to pull data for a specific array of symbols, also possible here. But this is, again, just giving us information on all symbols. And next, I'm going just to set up the WebSocket stream. So I'm just sticking to the WebSocket documentation, will also be linked in the video description. So I'm defining on message here, then WS, which we will define in some seconds, and message. And here I'm just translating the message received from the server to a Python dictionary. I'm just calling that out, using JSON loads on the server message. And then I'm just printing that out. So that's already it. And outside this function here, I'm defining WS, using WebSocket app, provide the endpoint, and define what I want to do when I receive a message from the server. And then I'm just running this stream forever. And when I'm running this, you will see what will happen. So let's do that. So you see you're getting a lot of information here. So you can already see BTC USDT, then some information, BNB USDT, some information. So this is not really lucid here for now. So let's interrupt the stream for now. And let's take a closer look at what exactly is contained in out. So I'm just pulling out on the global variable scale so that we can analyze it. Okay, so I'm starting the stream again. Then I'm interrupting this again. And now we are taking a look at out. And out is looking like this, right? So we have what it is, a 24-hour mini ticker. So the open is the price 24 hours ago. The close is the real-time price. And we have some information like a symbol here, and then, as you see, some price information here. So how can we transform that into a more readable way, and in such a way that we can import this data into our SQL database? Well, the first step, and I'm doing that now, is to transform this into a data frame. So if we're transforming that into a data frame, you will see that we're getting some nice tabular data here, right? So we have multiple rows here, and the symbol and the live price here, and also the timestamp, which is the time when this price was occurring. So currently this is in a Unix timestamp format. You can transform that if you want. I'm not doing that now, but I will do it when analyzing the data. But if you find that kind of hard to read, which in fact it is, then you can also transform it here. So if you transform it, you will get the time as of now. Okay, so we have it in a data frame now. And what you also see is that we're getting price information on pairs, right? So this, I don't even know what that is. VIB in relation to BTC. But I'm only interested in the coins in relation to the USDT, right? I'm just not interested in pairs trading. I just want to have the coins and how they're related to the USDT. And this data I want to import to my database. So I have to filter out the symbols here which are not ending with USDT. And that's quite straightforward. So let's store that in a variable. I'm just calling that data frame underscore here. And now we want to take this column here. So the S column, which is short form for symbol. And then we can just use string ends with USDT. With that, we're getting an array here. So we can just filter the whole data frame for only those symbols ending with USDT. And you will see now you have only the symbols ending with USDT. And this is how one tick is looking like. So if you have an update for the data, you are getting a new data frame looking like this every single, I think, millisecond or every 1,000 milliseconds. If you want to have the exact number, you will find that in the documentation. So for now, this is our filtered data frame. So let's just reassign that, containing only USDT symbols, right? And as we don't need all columns here, so I don't need it for my purposes now, maybe you want to do some further analysis. So you want to take a look at the open price to get the price 24 hours ago, or high-low volume or quantity data. You can do that. I'm just filtering it out for now to keep it simple. So I'm calling that final data frame and just filter out what I need. So I need the symbol. I need the time when this was happening, and I need the close, which is the live price. And with that, I have a data frame like this. Now, the thing with this data frame is I want to store this data row-wise, right? So I want to have an SQL table called BTC USDT, and I want to import the timestamp and the close price for that table, right? So what I need to do here is to iterate over this data frame here and just create sub-data frames, and then we can conveniently use the toSQL function from pandas and import it into our database. So my goal is to just slice this data frame row by row and use that to import that to SQL. So how can I do that? I can simply take for I in range length of final, and then I could do something like this. So I could take, let's just take a variable which we don't use anymore. I can just use I and then I plus 1 to get one row. So this will look like this. I'm just showing you. So now you're getting, for each iteration, you're getting a new row here, right? So this is looking like this. So exactly what we need, right? And this data frame we can just import to our SQL database, right? In case you're wondering, do I need this loop? Not necessarily. You can also directly work with SQL syntax here, but this is making things way more complicated for now. But if you're worried about the performance, which you don't really have to be worried about, because these are like 50 to 100 iterations, right? Which you will have to go through on every single tick. It's really not a performance issue. But you can also work with stuff like iteros, itertuples, or whatever your approach is. But you can also work with direct SQL syntax, just that you are aware of that. Okay, for now, we just need to do some more stuff here. So we only want to import those two columns here, right? So we need the event timestamp and we need the close. And this should be our table's name, right? So we want to have a bunch of tables in our database, and the table name is the symbol. And inside this table, we are storing the timestamp and the close. So we need to do some more transformations here. So first of all, we want to have the close, which is currently a text object or a string format. We want to have that as a float. This is what we have to do. So we have to do something like s-type float, and then we have that as a floating value. So this has to be transformed here in this data frame. And yeah, then we are slicing only for E and C column here, and screen for the symbol name, which is simply R, S, and then we just want to have the string here, so we can just screen for the value. And what I just showed you, we are doing that within a function, right? And you might already get the idea. We are calling this function within the WebSocket stream. So we need a function, and I'm calling that, let's get rid of that for, no, let's keep that for now, but this is integrated in the function. So we are calling this function data frame import. This is taking data from the WebSocket stream, and then it's basically doing exactly what we just did. So first of all, it is creating a data frame, and I'm doing this step by step again to make this really clear. So then it is filtering out the USDT stuff, so we can just copy paste that from here. Then we are doing the s-type float. So DFC should be DFC s-type float. And then we have a final data frame, which is simply screening only those columns here. So symbol, event time, and close. And then we are looping. So let's take this loop for now. But now we are looping over every single row in this data frame. And now we are doing the following. We are defining row here, use final I plus 1. With that, we are getting this row-wise. And now we are importing to SQL. So we are taking row and then only E and C as the columns. So we only want to have this and this column in our database. And we want to import that to SQL. And now give the table a name. And the table name is the symbol, right? So we can just use the row symbol and then values. So we are importing the right price data for the right symbol. Then provide the engine, which is our connection to our database. Set the index argument to false. And then if the table is already exists, we want to append data. Okay, and this is our data frame import. So we can get rid of that. And this function is taking data from the WebSocket stream and is importing this data to our SQL database. All right, so yeah, let's integrate that into our WebSocket stream. So we don't need to have out here as a global variable anymore. We don't necessarily have to print out here, but we have to call the df import function on out, right? And now let's start the WebSocket stream. And just that we are aware of that, this will import massive data into this database, right? So for every single coin, you're getting millisecond granular price data imported as long as this WebSocket stream is running. So let's start that, but just that you're aware of that. So let's get rid of all those unnecessary cells here. And now you see this is running. And now we are taking a look at the database. So let's open a new notebook here and import pandas and SQL Alchemy. Then connect to our coins database, so just copy paste that. And now let's take a look at, let's say, Bitcoin. So let's take read SQL, BTC USDT, provide engine, and then you will see that you already got 85 rows for Bitcoin. And if I call this again, so if I'm executing this again, you will see that I have 94 rows because I'm getting real-time data. If I'm executing that again, I have 98 rows and so on, right? So this will fill up as long as the WebSocket stream is running and you are getting live data. Now, let's pull all tables, or no, let's calculate the return for Bitcoin for now, because we are doing, in the end, we are calculating the return for all coins and see which coin did climb the most, right? So let me just show you for this one. Let's store that in df, and how you could calculate the return here. So we are taking the close column, apply percentage change on that, and with that you are having the percentage change in each row. Add a 1 to that and take the product. So this is return calculation. So I've covered that in detail in another video of mine. So if you don't know what I'm doing here, check that out, please. So this is just doing the following thing. This is taking this column and is calculating the cumulative return from this until this price. So the calculation would be this, and then set that into relation to this. So this is exactly the same as this one here. So you will see how the asset was developing here, right? So, and then subtract the 1, of course, and this is the same from a calculation perspective. Okay, so this is the cumulative return for one coin. this is taking the whole column, right? So you can also take a look at only the last 10 rows, right? You can take a look at how was it developing the last 10 rows, and just taking a look at the last 10 rows of this data frame. If you want to take it up to the next level, you are working with the timestamps, right? So you are taking a transformation on the event time here. You can use pandas to date time and then provide the unit SMS. And with that, you see you have 26 November and then the exact timestamp here, right? So this is more readable for a human, of course. And now you could also implement logics like I want to have the return of the coin over the last 1 minute, right? And then you are working with timestamps. I'm not doing that in this video, but if you're interested in that, I can cover that in follow-up videos. So for now, I'm just going the easy way and take a look at the last 10 or 50 rows to calculate the most recent returns, right? Okay, now let's poll all tables. So this was the return calculation. I hope I could make this clear. Now let's pull all tables from our database. So I'm just doing that in the Fs here. Use pandas read SQL function and then take a SQLite specific syntax here to pull all tables from a database. So this will differ when you're using MySQL, Postgres, Microsoft SQL Server. So yeah, dependent on what you're using, you need to make the right amendments here. So this is the syntax for the SQLite version. So this will provide me a data frame like this, and you see an insane amount of coins, right? We have 327 tables containing price data. That's quite insane, right? So if you want to have the tables here, you can just screen for the name column and then transform that to a list. So this is optional. And then you have the tables stored in a list, as you see here. Okay, and now you could, to analyze the whole crypto market real time, you could use a structure like this. So just to give you an idea, right? So you could create a return array and then loop for table and tables. Then you're pulling the table here. So read SQL on that table. So in the first iteration, that would be, for instance, Bitcoin. So you are pulling the Bitcoin table, the one you saw above here, right? So which is, of course, already at 391 rows. And of course, also provide the engine. With that, you have the Bitcoin table. And then you calculate the return using df c column percentage change +1, the product of that, then -1, and then just append it to the returns list here. And with that, you're getting the live returns, right? So if you're taking a look at the returns, and then let's say the largest 10 returns, you're getting some very interesting information, right? Since we started the stream, this coin on index 64, so you can take a look at it like so. This coin, Auto USDT, was climbing by 4% over, I don't know how long the stream was running now, some minutes. And this is quite insane, right? So let's check that out on Binance. Yeah, let me pull that over that you can see what I'm seeing here. So Auto USDT. Give me a second, sorry. You see this massive climb here, right? Or 117 farm USDT. Can check that out. Here also was climbing quite a bit. So by 2%. So just to make this clear, whenever you're executing this loop again, you're getting updated returns here, right? And now if you want to take a look at the most recent ones, you're just using, for instance, the tail if you want to quickly check it. But if you want to get more professional here, you would have to work with timestamps and check for, give me the return over the last 5 minutes here, right? So I'm just taking the last 20 rows for now. And then you will see 175 is currently climbing quite a bit. And whenever you are executing that newly, you are still getting some climbs for order, right? So what you can do with that is, first of all, you have a very nice live observation of the whole crypto market over more than 300 coins. But to give you a future outlook, you can use this for momentum strategies, right? So this is something I would cover in future videos if you're interested in that. So for instance, if a coin is skyrocketing, just jump on the trend and then go out after some time or after some target profit. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope this was interesting. By the way, don't forget to stop the stream when you're done with your analysis. Otherwise, you will have a very large database really soon. So yeah. But anyhow, thanks a lot for watching. And I'm looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Bye bye.